always a pleasure speaking with you. I miss you because we used to do a bunch of interviews that
Yeah,
was for CBC New Year's Eve. You used to have these amazing specials. So
thank you.
I was thrilled to find out that you were doing another one basically
Oh,
over the holiday season. And like I said, I just miss you. I think you're amazing. I
oh,
love your Canadian wit
oh.
to what the world looks like these days. And I know you have a lot to talk about. First,
Huh.
thanks for doing this
Oh,
interview, and I'm
Rudy,
so glad you're back.
that's a fine intro, brother. Given the fact I was late and missed your interview the other day, I'm I'm really glad it's a soft landing with you. So that's good. Thank you very much. Class act, man. Yeah, those specials really did put me on the map, so to speak. And it's been I believe it's been 8 years or 7 years since I've done one. And so to come back and stream a live show from Toronto, I felt was appropriate given the times that we're in. I don't think that we've had a stand-up perspective on the seismic shift the country's suffering since the great American experiment finally blew up in the lab a year ago and outmarched the Tangerine Genie, right? Huh? Just a billionaire
Wait,
bully bullshitter who can't stop. Meanwhile, their first president could never tell a lie. It's crazy.
okay,
And
before we hold on, before we get into, because I'm gonna be crying in a couple of minutes laughing so hard. Okay, what exactly is this special called? You kind of already explained it.
yeah.
How do we get a chance to see this?
Well, you have two options.
Okay.
I'm on stage at the Bluma Appel Theater on Friday night at 7:30, and that's 3 blocks east from Union Station. If you're taking the
Mhm.
subway down, and if you're driving into the city, leave yourself a week and a half and and head into the theater. But there's the other option too. I've decided to stream this. And so I'm filming it live to streaming. It's a real high wire act where the last specials I had a chance to edit them and massage them after we shot them in October, and then we'd air them New Year's Eve, which had to be done for CBC. They took a close look at things. And where this one, it's free as you please. And the reason I decided to stream it was because back in the wintertime, Midas Touch on YouTube with 7 million viewers picked up a clip of mine from my 2016 special where I lit into Trump. And it was a long, rambling run. And it, it took the news station by storm, and we had almost 2 million views, maybe even more. So I thought, oh, it'd be a nice way to sneak into the back door of America and allow those Americans with a soft spot for Canada, but yet anti-Trumpers who would like to see a perspective from a Canadian on what's going on. And so that was the motivation for streaming it. Because look, brother, my days of crossing the border, given what I've said about taco tits online, are long gone. I mean, all it's going to take is for Kristi Noem's stormtroopers guarding the border to take one look at my social media feed. I'll be pistol whipped, black bagged, and wake up in the morning cleaning latrines in Alligator Alcatraz. But I will say, Rudy, I was in Los Angeles. I lived there for 3 years another lifetime ago. Uh, my eldest was young at the time. She was 18 months, and we came home and she was almost 5. I chased the sitcom dream down there a long time ago, before I moved into stand-up. And but I dabbled in stand-up down there in LA. I couldn't get into the clubs. The lineup were months long. I remember throwing my name in the amateur night hat way back in '91 at Melrose, the Melrose Improv,
Yes.
and there were 421 people in the room that night.
Oh.
And I didn't get on stage and that was in January. I didn't get on stage until April, and it was for 5 minutes at the Santa Monica Improv with 40 other people. And I remember thinking at that point in time, I had a couple of epiphanies like that. And I had, I was married at the time. I had a daughter to feed, a mortgage to pay. And I thought, no, uh, this is uh, this is not going to work down here. It's going to take far too long with the responsibilities that I had. And I wanted to make a living. I'd gone down to do a series. It was canceled. I was out of work for about a year. And so I wrote a one-man show about it back in Toronto when I finally moved home in 93, up and down a shaky town. I took the best 10 minutes out of that, started performing amateur nights at the Laugh Resort, even though I'd had a pretty good career and a notoriety from doing commercials and guest spots and the occasional film. That doesn't matter when you're in front of the microphone. You can have all the fame you want, but when you step in front of that microphone, everybody's the same, man. And amateur night is the crucible that everybody and anybody has to suffer their war wounds in, correct? And so I stayed there doing that for 6 months. And no, here comes the guy from the commercials, thinks he's going to do stand up, blah, 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 whatever. But you stay with it. And so I worked at that great little club for 5 years in the company of excellent comedians. And my mentors were 10 years my junior, like Tim Steves, God bless him. I don't know if you knew Timmy, but
Yes.
real stalwart warrior in front of that microphone, and started booking myself in soft seaters around the tip of Lake Superior in the dead of winter. But I'll tell you, people would say, "Hey, man, what are you doing playing at Dryden?" I booked half a dozen dates around the frozen lip of Gitche Gumi in February. But after 3 years of endless numbers of auditions in Los Angeles, and I got some good commercials. I mean, I was the spokesman for Texas tourism for,
That's right.
several years. It was weird. Guy from Nova Scotia, launching the campaign. Texas is like a whole other country, and given their politics now, it certainly is. It's a theocracy on par with Iran, right? But and every 13 weeks, I got a check for 415 bucks.
Yeah.
I did because the Screen Actors Guild didn't think that cable was going to last. So they
Yeah.
didn't have a friggin' contract. But I know that it was the first year CNN launched. I'm old, man. I'm like 68.
I'm with you. I'm
All right.
there. I'm there.
Good, 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 good. Well, you know what I'm talking about. Because
Yeah.
nothing happens overnight, and everybody thinks everything's going to happen overnight now with the internet. Boom, we're here. I mean, this generation doesn't have the patience for minute rice anymore, right? You know, you're a TikTok celebrity with your 15 minutes of notoriety, but you got to work in a club, man. So where are you going to get your other 30 minutes from, right? Anyway, I was a spokesman for Texas, and I know for a fact that during the first Persian Gulf War, Saddam Hussein was in the bunker watching CNN around the clock, right?
That's right.
And I like to think that despite the fact I was only getting 415 bucks, I like to think the fact that Saddam Hussein saw my Texas tourism commercials and might have said, I hate America. That little guy, he's funny. But
Hold on. Let me jump in there. Here's the thing. Okay, so we already know with this special
oh
that
yeah,
you're going to be talking about taco.
huh,
Okay, we already
yeah,
know that.
yeah.
I'm curious though, are we going to talk about the Canadian politics
Oh
because
yeah,
you got
yeah, yeah.
Polyev and of course you got
Oh yeah,
Cardi and like
absolutely. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff on that pair, and it's changing daily, right?
yes.
I mean, I was online throwing my hat in the ring in support of Carney right off the bat. I mean, Carney had a smile that warms your heart, where Pierre Poilievre smiled. It was like he wanted to eat it. I always say that Pierre Poilievre was born with a face you'd love to punch. Right?
Yes.
Right? He's that little prick in your grade six class who put his hand up on a Friday before a long weekend and said, Teacher, you forgot to give his homework. Plus, two, he was Harper's attack dog in Parliament, which proves the point. You should always neuter your pets. So, boom, boom. But you know what? I, I just finished a tour of Atlantica. These are the sensitivities out there now, bro.
Yeah.
And I was breaking in new material on my road tour and throwing some best of in there too. So my shows were coming in long, around 2 hours.
Yeah.
more. I did 2 hours and 10 minutes in Moncton. Explosive response from the room. Nice standing ovation. One person sees that 2 hour and 10-minute show with maybe 7 jokes on the conservatives, sends a note, sends an email to my producer. I will never pay a penny to see Ron James again. How dare he? Da 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 da. Right? And I'm thinking to myself, come on, man. This little prick was almost 30 years in Parliament, never got one bit of legislation passed. Right? Where Carney, economics degree from Harvard, master's from Oxford, and tested that pedigree in such international corridors of power. Even the flatulence smells like money. Well, Pierre Polyev had a fucking BA degree that took him 8 years to get by correspondence. I got my BA degree in 3 years at Acadia, and I minored in binge drinking and hash knives. So, come on, man. But these are the sensitivities that are out there now. But thankfully, I got some buddies doing stand up in New York, and one of them, you might have known him, excellent stand up, Nathan McIntosh.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent stand-up. And he's played south of the Mason-Dixon line. He's been down there in the belly of the beast doing his work. And he's gotten some warnings. I'd make sure that just one of the club owners, either him or a friend had the warning that look, maybe stay in the club for a little while. There's a couple guys waiting for you in the parking lot. Right.
Well,
And
and hold on, because I want to jump in on this
yeah,
again. I want to jump in on this because you just said something that I find so interesting. Why is it that people today? Because I consider myself. I grew up in the golden age,
yes,
okay, of
yeah,
comedy.
yeah,
Where you said what you said, but you said it with intelligence. It wasn't supposed to be it's so yes, it was supposed to be offensive, but it was an intelligent offensive, if I can
yes,
say it that way.
yes, yes, yes.
Why is it today that you could say practically anything, and then now you got people jumping up on stage, you've got trying to attack the comedians, you've got people who are, screaming things out like they're losing their minds.
It's the
Like you
age of
cannot.
anger.
It's almost
Yeah,
like you can't say
true.
anything.
I play Howie's Room in Ottawa from time to time. Great room and an excellent cat, that Howie Wagman. It's the only club I play anymore. And I noticed the last time I played there, or the time before that, uh, people were reacting to the setup, not even waiting for the punchline, just the subject alone,
Yes.
not waiting for anyone to say. But we're in an age of anger. Like,
Mm.
it's the age of anger and keyboard warriors. And I think some valve broke during COVID.
Yeah.
And whether or not we'll get back to some form of civility again, I don't know. Uh, Sensitivities and polarities are at an all-time high.
Yeah.
But it's like Billy Connolly used to say, uh, what's the intention behind the joke? And here's another thing. I talked to John Provermo about this the other night. What the fuck are these comedians doing punching down?
Yeah.
You don't punch down, man. You don't punch down at the marginalized, right? What's this fear about, trans people and Chappelle going on about that and Gervais? For the love of Jesus, man. You know, what about China? A totalitarian Orwellian state that keeps its people under an iron jackboot of oppression. You can talk about oppression. They're not hurting anybody. They're not destroying the fabric of society. Punching down is not, you got to topple the Pharaoh on his golden throne. That's who you want to hit. That's one thing. And then there's another movement. Someone told me the other day, I forget the name of it, but it's this Joe Rogan testosterone fueled macho movement and stand up. These fucking guys, I mean, they should be sitting around a cave eating mammoth marrow, shouldn't they? I always thought that stand up, like you said, it had to have an intelligent point of view and a blow. It had to be
Yes.
funny at the end. If you want a sermon, you can go somewhere else for that. And I'm cautious about that too with my political runs. It's all well and good to have a nice rolling alliterative run, but you got to land on the funny at the end of it. And I
Yeah.
think sometimes the funny's forgotten.
I agree with you. We're gonna have to wrap this up, but I just want to ask you very quickly, what's going on with you 2026? Are we gonna have more of these type of specials?
Oh, I hope so. I'd like to do one a year until that orange cyst is removed from Canada's back, right? Right?
Yes.
And look, nobody's perfect. And it's going to be tense in Parliament. Carney's going to take his heat.
Yeah.
And I've got an environmentalist heart, I think. And I held Enbridge to account in its day. I used to have a joke. I said, "What the hell's our priorities? Oil and mining companies can pollute the country with impunity, and it's business as usual. I
Yeah.
burn a few fall leaves in my backyard, and the SWAT team shows up." And you have to hold power to account. It's our job. And you know what? Tell you, it's kind of my philosophy. My father, God bless him, was this funny little Newfoundlander. He's only 5'2", and the older he got, the shorter he got. So by the time he was 83, he could run under the kitchen table without hitting his head. But I had a corporate gig, and Buddy happened to have passes to the what was called the Directors Lounge at the time, and at the ACC. So I got tickets to the game with my dad, and we were allowed into the Directors Lounge. And me and this little Newfoundlander who raised me in Halifax, we walked in, and it was filled with high rolling Bay Street Illuminati, assorted political suckholes, and the hoi polloi of money and status. And we probably look like a couple of midget wrestlers who ran in. We're standing in the corner, double fisting free draft, wondering what the hell's on top of our cracker. While these pink-faced high rollers, "Hi, Ted. Hello, Jim. How are you? Hello, Barry. It was blah, blah, blah." I learned a lesson that night. Never be in a room filled with people you make fun of for a living. I don't think it's like that great quote, that great statement I read, I think at Lewis Lapham's book years ago, maybe on Fame or Comedy or something. Joan Rivers was talking to Mort Saul back in the 60s.
Yes.
And Mort Saul got way too close to the Kennedys, right? And so Joan, they were just starting out, but successful stand-ups. So she said, "Let's go for a coffee tomorrow." He said, "I can't. I'm going horseback riding." I said, "Horseback riding? What are you talking about? You're a Jew from Brooklyn. We don't go horseback riding." He goes, "I couldn't say no. The first lady asked me." She looked at him and she said, "What? You're going horseback riding with Jacqueline Kennedy?" He said, "Yeah." She said, "You're finished." He said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "We're not supposed to belong. We're supposed to be observers." And I think that's important.
Very.
Comedians are circus people. That's why we're so comfortable amongst our own. That's why this tribe of solo acts to whom I claim fealty, that I don't nearly see enough of nor talk to, which is why I'm having such a wonderful time in the room writing now with Chris Finn and Thomas Conway and Paul Pogue, who's away now and Zoomed with us a while ago. But even when I was doing my specials, it's our tribe, it's our shorthand, it's the way we speak, and that's everything. We're circus
Yeah.
people. We should be on the porch with the bearded lady and the dog-faced boy, not in at the cocktail party with everybody in black tie.
I absolutely agree
Anyway,
with you, my friend. I absolutely
thanks, buddy.
agree. Thank you so much for doing this interview with
Goody.
me.
Thanks for
I like
having
I
me
said,
on again and your patience with me being late.
no, hey, look, you are the master. Love you to
Buddy.
death. Love the fact we had this conversation. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
sir.
And
Thank you.
love the fact you got the special.
Well, thank you, sir, and I hope you can come see it on Friday. I'd love to have you, and if not, stream away.